my fellow Italians, and welcome back to Hetafax, and welcome to part 2 of the Baltic Mysteries. I suggest you watch the previous Baltic Mystery video and my age theory video, because there's info in those videos that you will need today. Today we are going to be figuring out all the perplexing things about the poorest Baltic, Latvia. Today we are delving into this six-toed Latvian's history and solving one thing that has bugged me for so long. Why is Latvia so young? Or at least, younger than Estonia. I even addressed this in my age video, so today we are going to finally address why Latvia is physically 15 years old. Especially compared to Estonia. The youngest we ever see these two is in Violent Susan Takes a Swing at Northern Europe, when they were both with Lithuania and Poland and Sweden conquered them, or half of them. That was around 1621. They are slightly younger than they are now, and Latvia is still shorter than Estonia, as well as younger. So we need to go back, but just how far back do we need to go? Well, we might as well start from the beginning. Let's find out when Estonia and Latvia were born. But how do we do that, you may ask? Do we look at language, people, culture? But before that, why does Belarus look older than both of them? She should be about a year older than Liechtenstein because, like her, she relies on her brother for a lot of things. Well, let's look at the youngest we see, Belarus. In Russia and Friends, we see her as a kid making snow titties. This takes place in 1242, and the youngest we see her in general is when Russia gets his scarf and Ukraine gets Kiev and Rus, which began in 882 and lasted until 1240, taking place a while before Russia and Friends. The first Belarusian states were in the 9th and 12th centuries and were known as the Principality of Polotsk. Prussia starts attacking around the 12th century, and Ukraine and Belarus are still here, not part of Lithuania yet. The Tatar yoke began in 1237, so Russia first met Lithuania sometime after this because let's just say Belarus is much older than Estonia and Latvia. Now let's get back to the topic. In 1201, Riga was founded, but that was founded by Germans. But in 1154, Estonia was officially put on a map and officially recognized as Estonia. Which makes me wonder, when was Latvia officially recognized as Latvia? Let's go back to what we learned in the Bolts video. Like Germania, we have one character with many children eventually taking over the land, or so we theorized. But how many children were there? Let's take a look at a few maps. These maps are going to be difficult because the Baltic area wasn't really well recorded. There were originally 5 tribes inhabiting what is today Latvia: the Livonians, the Curonians, the Slonians, the Semigalians, and the Latgalians. In 200, we already see Estonia, or what we believe are his ancestors, on the map. They're probably his ancestors since Lithuania is said to be the oldest. Here at 600, we start to see some familiar names in the east. We see Lithuanians, Ests, not the Asts, Lets, Finns, and Livonians. Many fans are confused whether Livonia is Latvia or not. No, they are different people. Livonia may be part of Latvia's history, but Livonian language is Finno-Ugric, not Baltic. Livonia would be related to Estonia instead of Latvia. And we know that Estonia and Latvia are not related. So Livonia is another character that conquers Latvia later. Instead, we have the Lets or Latgalians. These are known as ancient Latvians. Wait, ancient Latvians? We'll go to that later. Let's keep an eye on them for now. 1000, we see Old Prussians and we see the Lets moving north. Now we hit 1200, where Lithuania is now old enough to run a country apparently. But where did the Latgalians go? By 1300, the Latgalians, or whatever they're called at this point, aren't even on the map. The Lets just disappeared because the entire area was being invaded by Germans, most importantly the Teutonic Knights and Livonia. By the way, The Grand Duchy of Lithuania and the Duchy of Estonia exist at this point. Latvia is the only one of the three that hasn't really formed a nation yet. At the end of the 13th century, the Curonians, or also known as the Baltic Vikings, and the Semigalians were defeated by Livonia. And most of the tribes in Latvia died out or were converted to Christianity. The Latgalians were still kind of there though. But when was Latvia actually born? We know that the youngest we see Latvia is in the Wife comic, so he must have been born sometime before the 17th century. Let's take a look at the history of their languages. The earliest specimen of Estonia was in 1524. 6 years later, the first written specimen of Latvian language was found. But that's the key word. Written. Baltic tribes, like Hawaiians, didn't have a written language until this time. So their languages are much older than that of their written specimens. Also, this means that up until about the 15th century, Lithuania could not read or write. Just keep that in mind. But then why is Estonia older? Could it be that he was just more prosperous at the time? Or perhaps Estonia has been under the America effect for a longer time? Maybe that's why he's so sparkly. Perhaps Estonia was more prepared for the outside world than Latvia was, causing him to grow older. That is, if Tallinn was more successful than Riga, which it wasn't. Riga was the most successful city in the Baltic region after it was set up. That should have caused Latvia to grow, right? This can't be it. But while Riga grew to be a successful city, economic and property rights of non-Germans were severely restricted. At the same time, the political unity of the Livonian order united all the tribes left in Latvia into one linguistically united people, the Latvians. This took place before the Livonian Wars, but after Livonia was established. Looking at a source from the Natural History Museum of Latvia, Latvian as a distinct language, and probably Latvians as a people, emerged during several centuries by a language spoken by the ancient Latgalian tribe assimilating the languages of other neighboring Baltic tribes, Curonian, Semigalian, and Selonian, which resulted in these languages gradually losing their most distinct characteristics. This process of consolidation started in the 13th century after the Livonian Crusade and forced Christianization. These tribes came under Livonian rule and thus forming a united political, economic, and religious space, meaning that Latvia was born sometime between 1290 and 1558. However, one source states this, quote, "In the 17th century and early 18th centuries, under Swedish and German rule, Western Latvia adopted Lutheranism as its main religion. The ancient tribes of Curonians, Semigalians, Selonians, Livs, and Northern Latgalians assimilated to form the Latvian people, speaking one Latvian language, which probably refers to this time. Throughout the centuries, however, the actual Latvian state had not been established, so the borders and definitions of who exactly fell into what group are actually subjective. Meanwhile, isolated from the rest of Latvia, the southern Latgalians, probably the ones that exist today in Latvia, adopted Catholicism under Polish rule. So, was Latvia born then? Or did he just finally take over from the other tribes? Maybe it was like Germany, all the tribes coming together to resurrect another dead nation or something. Either way, it doesn't matter. Now we know why Latvia looks so much younger than Estonia. He hasn't just been squashed by Russia. He's been squashed by history. Livonia, Poland, Sweden, Russia, other tribes. Estonia and Lithuania were free for quite a bit of time before Latvia was. And Latvia was born a long time after the other two were. Latvia has never really had the chance to be free. Even if he was Latgalia, Latgalia got swallowed up by Livonia pretty quickly. Estonia has been free for a lot longer than Latvia. It doesn't explain why he's so short, but it at least explains why he's so young, and I'm pretty confident in this. So we know why he's so young. But can someone so young be siblings to someone 300 to 400 years older than him? Or are they related in another way? Are they even related? But that story is going to be for another time. And that was one mark higher on your history test. Thank you for watching Hetafax. Hello everyone, I'm going to Youmacon next week for a full 3 days. For anyone else that is going, I hope to see you there. Apparently a lot of really famous people are going, like J. Michael Tatum and Todd Haberkorn. I'm just really excited about this. There's even some people that even worked on Hetalia's music that are going to be there. I also have an Amino app now. Apparently there's a whole Hetafax Amino app that started a while ago as well. Interesting. Anyways, keep on studying.